I apologize if I sound really weird or talk even weirder than I usually do. I'm sick. I can't really hear myself on this ear. My nose is stuffed. I have a quite annoying cough at the moment, but I really want to get this video filmed, so we're just gonna have to deal with that. Hi guys, today I will be talking about all the books that I read in the month of January. In December I mentioned that I wanted to do my wrap-ups slightly different. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really planned this out. I'm just gonna go with it, so please bear with me. This might be a huge mess. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just list all of the books that I read in the last month from my least favorite to my favorite. I'm gonna name the ratings, and then after that I will just talk about the ones I actually have something to say about, because that's something I've noticed with my wrap-ups. Oftentimes, when a book was just okay, I don't know what to say about it. And so I've decided if a book was just okay, for me it's gonna be enough to just mention the rating. And if you do want to know more about my thoughts on a certain book, you can always ask down in the comments. So hopefully this will work out for me and for you. What I'm also gonna do is mention all the manga that I've read at the end of the video, so after I've talked about the novels that I've read. I don't know, I'm just gonna try it this way and see how it goes. As I said, starting off from my least favorite to my favorite, I read Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli and I gave this 3 stars. This is about a girl called Stargirl, and she's new at this high school and she's quite different to everyone else. I read A Bottle in the Gaza Sea by Valerie Sinati. I gave this also 3 stars, I believe. And I read this for Diversity Bingo 2017. This was my pick for an Arab main character, and I also read this during Diversathon. This is about the correspondence between an Israeli girl and a Palestinian boy during war times. I also read Out on Good Behavior by Dahlia Adler, and I gave this 4 stars. This is a female-female new adult romance. Golden Boy by Abigail Turtlin. I gave this 4.5 stars, and I also read this during Diversathon, and I put it down as my free choice for Diversity Bingo. And this is about an intersex character as he struggles with quite a few things, and I'm gonna talk about this more in just a minute. The last book I read, and also my favorite of this month, was Tiny Pretty Things by Sona Sharapatra and Danielle Clayton. This is book 1 of a duology. I'm pretty sure it's a duology. And it follows these ballet students as they compete against each other at this elite ballet school. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved this. I'm just gonna go on and talk about this one. We follow 3 different point of views in this book. There's Gigi, June, and Betty. Gigi is new at this school and the other 2 have already been there for a while. Gigi's the only black girl at the school. Betty is trying to step into the footsteps of her older sister, who was kind of like a big deal, and then June struggles with an eating disorder and has a very difficult relationship with her mother. Also, she is half Korean, so she has trouble fitting in as well. I adored the characters in this. They were so flawed, but you still felt for them. That's how I felt. I really loved them, even though they were so flawed, and most of them did some very questionable things. These girls get very competitive. Obviously, they want the big parts in the plays. Is that how you say it? I don't know. They also end up sabotaging each other, and it's not always quite clear who did what and who is targeting who. It kind of has a mystery aspect to it, which I also really enjoyed. I'm a huge fan of ballet, but I wasn't sure if reading about ballet would give me that same feeling of when I watch ballet, but the writing in this was so immersive, and I actually felt like I was watching ballet. That's how it made me feel. So this was fantastic. Definitely a new favorite, and I cannot wait to pick up the sequel. I think it's called Shiny Broken Pieces. Yes, I wrote quite a bit in my Goodreads review. I'm not sure if I mentioned everything that I wrote down, but I will link that review down below in case you want to check that out. Now for Golden Boy, which was also a favorite. This follows Max Walker, who is intersex, and right at the beginning of this book, he is raped by his childhood best friend. Well, best friend. So that's definitely something you have to be aware of. I did not know, and it took me by surprise. Luckily, I'm not like triggered by it as other people, but if that is a sensitive topic for you, you should be aware of it, because you do read along as it happens, which was, even for me, was really rough to read, obviously. And we follow Max as he deals with the aftermath and then also just comes to term with his gender and everything else. This was such an incredible story. It made me think so much, especially about gender and everything. There was a lot I didn't know. There are multiple point of views, mostly Max's family, but also his doctor and a girl he meets. At first I wasn't sure about those multiple point of views because I just wanted to read from Max's point of view, but after a while I really appreciated everyone's insight on Max's life and everything that happens. I especially loved David, who is Max's younger brother. I loved his point of view. It was so different, but still so fantastic. He's 10 years old. I don't think it's stated in the text, but I have a feeling he has autism or Asperger's. I'm not sure. I don't want to assume anything. That's just kind of how it read to me. I loved his point of view so much. I also really loved Max's father. He was also such a great character. Just by the end, I loved him so much. Now, the mother, I had some problems with her. I know she meant well, but fuck no, don't. I made a tweet about this on Twitter stating that I'm kind of starting to dislike the trope of the overprotective mother who does some very questionable things just to protect her child. Just, can we stop with that? I don't like it. Anyway, this was fantastic. I definitely recommend this. Now let's move on to the manga that I read. I finished off My Little Monster by Robiko by reading volumes 10, 11, and 12. I know there's volume 13, but I've been told that it's just like short stories and whatever, and I'm not really interested in that, at least at the moment. I've talked more about this series in my manga I'm reading video, which I will link down below, but basically it's about Shizuku and Haru and about them getting to know each other, getting closer, and just figuring out their feelings and just life in general, and it is wonderful. I love this series so much. And then something I also talked about in my manga I'm reading video, I've started my reread of, I can't get them up, Fruits Basket. I own all 20-something volumes. I've reread this series multiple times, but it's been a while since I've reread it and I just want to experience it all over again. So far I've read volume 1, that's not 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I'm currently on volume 8. I've just been loving being back with these characters. I love these characters so much. Lastly, I just thought I would mention what I'm currently reading. Like I just said, I am on volume 8 of Fruits Basket. I just started this one. I am reading Grace in Style by Grace Helbig. Awesome thing that happened, I bought this used off Amazon Marketplace and it's actually a signed copy. So that was pretty great. I love that little surprise. And the last book I'm currently reading, I am really struggling. The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. I requested this book on NetGalley. I'm almost finished with it, but oh boy, this was a struggle. I really did not enjoy this one, and I definitely would have DNF'd it if I hadn't requested it for a review. Oh, actually, I started another book earlier. Almost forgot about that. I started the audiobook for We Are the Ants by someone. Oh, Sean David Hutchinson. This is about a guy, a kid, whatever, who's being abducted by aliens. So far it's a bit strange, but also quite funny. So I can't wait to listen more of that. I would love to know what your favorite book of January was. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. And that was it for this video, and I will see you next time. Bye! Wow, I sound so weird. I'm not entirely sure. Jesus fucking Christ. This is gonna take forever. Golden Boy by Sean David Fuck.